Alright, so you guys know that I absolutely love the Steam Deck. It's one of my favorite devices to use, and I like to not only use it portably, but I like to put it on the dock and connect it to my big screen TVs, or sometimes even my monitors here, so I can get some gaming in, also to capture footage and all that for reviews. But what if I told you that there are portable monitors, so if you're traveling, you can utilize these to, get that 1080p out on an IPS screen that's like 10.5 inches. That looks really good. And as you guys know, I've reviewed a portable monitor before, and it was from WIMAXIT. They make several monitors, and varying quality, varying aspect ratios and screen resolutions. But this one really was cool because when they offered me the opportunity to cover this monitor, which is like a 10.5 inch and it's a 1080p 60 hertz screen, I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and do that, because I want to be able to when I travel, be able to just set up a portable monitor, and also when I'm at my other desk, because I'm not always out here, because the other setup you've seen videos where I'm core out there usually is when I'm with my youngest daughter. So I want to be able to have a portable monitor that I can, game on, capture footage with, and still look good, especially very vibrant. And this is what we're going to be talking about today, which is this monitor. All right, so off the bat, I want to talk about the overall build quality of this. In comparison to the first one I reviewed, the first one felt very cheap, but that was also made with lesser quality materials. And it was touchscreen, so the screen wasn't that great, and the overall build quality, it kind of at some points is coming apart, it seems. But this one right here, this one I have absolutely no issues with. It's a very solid design. It's got vested mounting, so if you wanted to mount it, you could. If you want to have it just pop out or put it on an arm like this, what I have my mic on, or like the AverMedia arm that I have, you could definitely set it up with that because it's incredibly lightweight. And if you go along the body of it, you got two speakers on the side. The speakers, they're not the greatest. They're really not good at all. I mean, they're very tinny sounding. You kind of have to crank it all the way up to the max settings to get a decent sound out of it. It's not great in any way, shape, or form. It is what it is. I mean, what do you expect out of something that's thin? And that's the other thing. This is really thin. This is so thin. It's literally thinner than my iPhone without a case. It's thinner than this, and it's kind of crazy how brilliant the screen looks. So going around to the screen, it's a 1080p 60 hertz screen, IPS panel, really brilliant. If you were to dive into the particulars of the settings, you can change things like the brightness, your color gamut. You can also turn on its quasi pseudo HDR. It's not really legitimate HDR, and when I've connected my PlayStation 5 and my Xbox Series X to it, it doesn't recognize it as HDR. I've even connected it to my main gaming PC here, so my gaming laptop, and it does not recognize it as HDR. So that's kind of an interesting claim. You'll see that often when it comes to monitors. They'll claim to have HDR, but what is the HDR rating? Is it HDR 400? Is HDR 600? This one just doesn't rank at all. It's not a true HDR. But what it does is it'll create an ambient effect for the visuals. It'll darken it and sharpen certain colors and make them more luminous. So certain games, you'll be able to see the difference on that. But for all intents and purposes, it's not really true HDR. It's not true HDR 10 at all. So yeah, that's, if you're trying to get it for that reason, that it doesn't have true HDR. But beyond that, talking about the overall, if we were to say comparing it to the Switch OLED, I'm able to connect, not just my Steam Deck, but my Switch OLED to it, and putting the screens side by side, it's almost as vibrant as that OLED panel on the Nintendo Switch OLED. Not quite fully there, but it's convincing nonetheless. I absolutely love what I can do with it. And it just makes games pop. So if I were to go from playing a game on my Switch OLED to connecting it to this monitor, man, does it look almost as good, right? Same thing with connecting the Steam Deck and other consoles to it. It looks really, really good. You do get true 1080p 60 Hz. So that right there, absolutely phenomenal. Now, if we look at the ports on it, you have auxiliary input. You've got two USB-C inputs. You can use one USB-C for power delivery, and as well as one for video. And they're interchangeable, which one you want to use for video. And then you've also got a mini-hdmi input. So that's something that makes this different than the other monitors I've used, and it's the mini HDR aspect of it. I wish it used standard HDMI, but I understand it's mini so that they could keep it within this, the framework of the monitor's build. But, that's kind of annoying because outside of like maybe one or two other devices, I don't really have anything that utilizes a mini HDMI. So yeah, don't lose or break that cable that comes with it. Just keep that in mind. And outside of that, I think I mentioned earlier, it has the auxiliary input for like headphones or speakers out. And other than that, you have two buttons, one for power as well as like mode switching. So the power button / mode switch, if you press and hold it down, it'll power it on and off. If you tap it, it'll switch between your video settings. Like you can go between your auto select input. You can also go to USB-C input as well as HDMI input. And then you've also got a little finicky cheap fielding select that doubles as a button if you click it in. You click it in, it allows you to move about the on-screen display for like changing your settings and aspect ratio and all that. But it's so cheap feeling that every time I utilize it, I feel like I'm gonna break it off in some way because it's not well built. So pretty much when I first got it and I unboxed it and I set it up, I set everything the way I wanted to, and I never touched it again because I just don't want to deal with something happening to this device. Particularly that volume selector, volume knob / menu selector. It's not, yeah, I don't care for that. But you also get with this monitor a kickstand, which it's kind of neat. It's something you could also put like your Nintendo Switch on. It doesn't work for like the Steam Deck or anything because it's too chunky of a boy, but you can also use it for like your cell phones to prop up, and it's got multi points of articulation, so you can like however you want to have it sitting, it'll work with it. Now, I mean, that's cool and all, like I have no issue whatsoever, but personally after using like the Acer 3D 4K monitor, I kind of want portable monitors to have a built-in kickstand so I can just prop it up right then and there and not have to worry about putting it on a stand that's separate that it can easily be knocked off of. And that's something that I don't care for when it comes to this monitor, is that stand and how easy it is to knock it off, especially if you got kids running around like I do. Like, yeah, they can easily knock it off and break it and you're going to be like, oh no, but it kind of is what it is. Beyond that, it's fairly serviceable. I think, for a monitor of this size, and if you're looking to get something for traveling, I mean, it's very low profile. And what's cool is if you pair this with like one of the Steam Deck docks or USB-C hub, then you really don't have to have anything other than the mini HDMI cable that comes with it, your dock or USB-C hub, and then your power delivery. Like you've the stock Steam Deck 45 watt power adapter, the brick is enough to charge this monitor, right, as well as charge your Steam Deck and then your accessories, so you're fine, right? You could literally take this, your Steam Deck, your dock or your adapter, and then boom, you're all set and ready to go. What's also cool too is like if you utilize the desktop functionality, like for a bit there I had to utilize like Linux and as my main PC component, especially when it comes to like the Steam Deck's version of Linux, and it works well. It perfectly fits to the aspect ratio. It'd be perfectly serviceable as like a secondary monitor or your primary monitor if you want to use this for productivity. Nothing wrong with it. And just literally the fact that this monitor supports whatever you plug into it, so you can plug in your iPad, you can plug in your Steam Deck, your Switch, your computers, you can plug in your phones, and they all work with it. with no issues, and they look really good on that screen. So all that being said, what do you guys think? Have you picked up the WIMAXIT 10.5 inch IPS 1080p 60 Hz monitor? Or are you looking at alternatives? Like, I will say this, there are better monitors on the market. And if you're gonna get one for WIMAXIT, get the 4K one. That's one that I'm looking forward to reviewing down the road. But if you're gonna spend for a 1080p, you might as well get a 4K portable monitor. I'm just saying, just get that monitor instead. But whatever your thoughts are, why don't you guys let me know in the comment section below if you picked this up, or if you have alternatives that you've used and you like to utilize with your Steam Deck and other peripherals. And if you want to pick it up, I got a affiliate link down below and all that good stuff. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like the video, sub to the channel if you haven't already, ding the notification bell. And also, you know, if you want to support what we do, channel memberships, Patreon, and we got various other affiliate links, other stuff to support the channel. All that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay safe, be blessed, have aloha, and I'll see you on the next one.